Hey everybody, what's up? Circus here coming at you with this week's Rogue Deck Roundup. And if you like the Rogue Deck Roundup, make sure to hit the subscription button below. That way you'll know when the next one comes out. Joining me this week is Herf. How you doing, buddy?
Dude, I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
This is funny, you guys, because if you know Herf at all, he is a hardcore competitive meta player to the extreme. So these Rogue decks are like his kryptonite.
Yeah, I mean, I just like to win. I don't know.
All right, so this should be pretty funny, his commentary on this. So if you guys are new to the series, what we do every week in the power rankings, make sure to check that video out, is we track tournaments throughout the week and we see how decks perform in there, and then we assign them points on how they finish. Okay, so if they get a top
Mhm.
or first place finish, they get 6 points. Second place is 4 points. Top four is 2 points, and a top eight is a single point. All right. Now the tournaments we track are the same ones as the power rankings, and this week they were, of course, the Battle Phase Series, the Meta Weekly, and the Pharaoh's Cash Tournament. Now, there's a lot of tournaments that go on, but the tournaments we track to keep things consistent have to be rounds of Swiss into a top 32 using a single deck with a 5 card side, and you can side in a skill if you want. All right, so with that in mind, Perf, any idea? Look at that, 7 points. That's pretty good for a first place deck. Who's it gonna be?
Something that probably shouldn't have that many points, but
It's Dragunity this week. They are a steady performer on the road deck roundup. Look at Herf, it's just killing them. Just killing them. How do you feel about Dragonies? They're pretty good, right?
I mean, they're just like Kmart Blackwings.
All right, all right. Well, I don't think everybody feels that way, but in second place is Weather Painters this week. I like me some Weather Painters. Who doesn't love the Bob Ross deck?
Yeah, I mean, they're basically like a mashup between like Ritual Beast and Trimids. Like if they had a baby, they'd probably make some Weather Painters.
Nice. I like that. I like that. Those are two of my favorite decks. All right, and then Stromberg, Stromboli, you gotta love
Wait,
it.
did you say Memeberg?
Nah, well,
You said
let's dive
Memeberg.
into it a little bit here. Dragunity this past week in first place, 7 points. Got second place in Battle Phase EU. That's no joke. That's a major tournament for us. Top four in the Battle Phase EU. So that's two Strombergs in the same tournament. Or I'm sorry, not Strombergs. Dragunities in the same tournament, and a top eight in anti phase. So come on, you got to show them some love there, her.
I mean, the list, it looks like how you probably should be playing it. Lots of anti-back row. Maybe a bad aim was a meta call for him. I don't know why you wouldn't just go 3 lands, 3 cosmic. That way you can more consistently open an anti-back row and play through more stuff. I like the Lancia. It looks pretty good.
I
Sphere
think at this
Prism.
point they're just like scraping and clawing for that little advantage that they can get to get into, to win that finals.
Yeah, I just don't know if you should be playing bad aim because my rationale is like it's slow and you're not going to want to have to rely on a trap anyways because you're either OTKing or you're losing basically, right? Like I'd
Well,
rather have a lance.
what I found is I've never bought any Dragonities. I don't have any of them. I've
Mhm.
never played the deck, but had you handed me a deck at this point, I could probably play it because there's basically one thing they can do. Their flow chart is very narrow, and if they get
Mhm.
knocked off it at all, they're gonna lose.
That's what I'm saying. Like the lance will help you, like stick to the flow chart, if you will, more than the bad aim. It's just like a random thing to throw in there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't get to see if it came in handy, but it must have if he put it in there, or maybe
I
that's
guess
why he didn't win the finals.
maybe. I don't know.
All right. All right, let's move on to second place here. Weather Painters. I like this deck. I have it. I spent way too much money on it. It's in one of our Let's Laugh at Circus videos. Trying to get 3 of the snow was a complete pain in the butt. But playing this deck, it's fun. It's a control deck. I like playing control. It just it always seems to fall short because after your opening hand, yes, you can get some card advantage, but usually it's with cards you don't want. It's like you just get more of the Weather Painter cards, because you can draw those, but what good does that do you after a while?
Yeah, you really want to rely on like because it doesn't let you play through that much. I mean, sure you have like a generic like bounce to the hand, but versus a lot of decks, like if you bounce a Cocytus back to the hand, they're gonna have invoker in their hand anyways, and they're just gonna resummon it. Like
Right.
it doesn't permanently solve any problems. And I guess that's why, Necro Valley is useful, but if you don't open Necro Valley or they get rid of it. So
Hmm.
it's just like when it works super, super well. But if it's not working, you're on, it's going to be a short game.
Right. You got to get the weather painter loop or engine or whatever you want to call it going. Excuse me. And if you don't, you're kind of stuck. And what it seems like when you're drawing the spells and traps out when you're searching, it feels like you're just shuffling the stuff that you want to the bottom of your deck. Like you're never drawing into your outs. It's like, all right, I pulled all my traps out, I pulled all my spells out, and your ultimate providence is still at the bottom of the deck.
That'll happen. I mean, with any deck. But maybe more so when you're searching a lot. I don't know. But yeah, it just you got just be lucky. Just draw what you need, circuits. Come
All
on.
right. Well, we've got to look at the conversion rates on the Dragoonity deck. We'll take a look at them after we do this. But the overall representation this past week for Weather Painters was 4. But 2 of them made it into the top 32, and those 2 both made it into the top 8. So that's not bad for a rogue deck. Actually, rogue decks have a lot higher conversion rates. And that's usually why we
Mm,
don't use them in the power rankings because they just skew everything.
yeah.
But hey, I think they're pretty much just represented in the Meta Weekly.
Mm.
All right, taking a look at the conversion rates for Raygunit here. Look at this. 13 times they were played in the past week. Top 4, 31%. Top 8, only once. That's rough.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to have a high conversion rate with 13 rather than 4, to be
Right.
honest. I mean, even like 31% for 13, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, considering you're playing Dragonities, like a 31% top rate is not a
Yeah,
bad top rate.
they're really good in Swiss. That's what we find. They're
Hmm.
really good in Swiss, but once the other memes die, then they're in
Hmm.
trouble.
Or once you're maybe facing like more like high quality players that maybe have, Fiendish
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
chains. Well,
whoa,
I'm saying that
whoa.
that's the whole premise of a top 32 is
Right.
that, those are the top
Is
32
that why
players
we
that
never
day.
see her from the top 32?
Dude, I have to play tournaments.
Uh-huh.
But
All right, moving on to third place then. This is my personal favorite rogue deck. I don't care what anybody says. Shout out to the Stromberg community. Look at this. Third place this week, 2 top 8s. That's not bad. Not bad at all.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's still Stromberg though.
Come on, look at that
Like,
spicy tech of the Barbaros in there.
whoa, but why? Like, why would you play? What matchup is that helping you in? I don't get Stromberg. I don't know why people play it. I think it's
It's
just a
a good
bad.
synchro deck, man. It's got all the answers. It's got the Grand Maju. It's got the synchro toolbox.
It has all of the answers to everything except like Sam Destroy.
It's got its outs, man. You use the Fiendish Chain on it. Come on now.
Oh, okay. Fiendish Chain. Oh, I'm sorry.
Or
I was
Treacherous
trying.
Trap Hole. Or one of your banished 20
Wait,
banished cards. You just pull it back.
you want to use Treacherous Trap Hole against the Sam Destroyer?
Yeah, man, it works.
Yeah. If you say so. Stromberg top 8 because we use Treacherous on Sam Destroyer. Let's get
Yep.
it.
Stromberg, I don't care what you say. It's going to win another tournament one of these days, and then you're going to have to acknowledge it on the power rankings.
I mean, if it does, I will say I'm wrong.
When? When? So, all right.
Wait,
You can be right up there with Kamel eating your hat on stream.
dude, I'll do it. I'll do it. But it has to win. And it
Yeah,
will.
it
Ever.
will. It will. It will.
All right. Maybe
Uh,
when Xyz comes out, because you can, maybe go into a level 3 pretty easy if we get some good level 3s. I don't know. But
O ye of little faith.
for now,
All right. Let's give a shout out to a few of the honorable mentions. He's all just made a top 8 this week, so nothing major. But Lightsworn's Evil Eye, Mayakashi, that's a big accomplishment for that deck. And then Element Heroes, that's straight up E heroes like Blaze Man and stuff.
honestly, Evil Eye, out of all of these decks, I would expect Evil Eye to be in the top 3 over, maybe Weather Painters or Stromberg. Because,
I
like, the The deck is not that bad. Like it has a lot of removal that you can recycle. It has like the
Hmm.
bounce too, as well as it can banish cards from the opponent's grave, which is really strong, especially against pretty much everything in the meta right now. So I mean, I guess if we were making a future prediction, Evil Eye might rise in the Rogue deck power rankings, but
Well,
who
that's the
knows?
thing. We see it on the Rogue Duck Roundup every week, and it's here every week. Sometimes it does better than others. I think it was just representation this time. It doesn't get a lot of people playing it, but the people that do play it know how to play it. So I
Mm.
think that's what it comes down to. It's kind of a big brain deck, but the problem is it really doesn't have any monsters. It has 2 monsters and no boss monster. So
Well, okay. Here's the thing. Like, what else do you want me to say? It's a bad deck that does bad things. That's just not very competitive against other good things.
there you go. That's what I want to hear. All right, guys. I hope you guys like the Rogue Deck Roundup with Herf's cynical point of view on everything. I encourage the Rogue decks, continue playing them, beat people like Herf in the tournaments.
That'd be awesome.
All right, so if you guys liked it, make sure to hit the like button. We'd really appreciate that. I'm Circus. That's Herf. See ya.
See ya.